we during COVID and everything, we were doing like twice a month or every 2 weeks, and now we're going to be doing it once a month. Once a month.
We were talking today. We were like, "What do we even talk about?" We're like, we're coming to the end of ourselves, but we still have things to cook, so that's what we're excited about. And tonight we thought it would be fun, instead of making, because I always have like 2 or 3 batches of these things that we've made going at the same time. I thought, why don't we do it so that we can all cook together? So if you're cooking with us, awesome. If you're not, you can still use the recipes like normal and just watch it. But we're going to be making a peach crisp tonight. I always put things in little individual ramekins so that I don't eat the entire pan myself.
This is a ramekin, in case you have no idea, because until I got married to her, I had no idea what a ramekin was.
It's just a little bowl that can go in the oven. And we're also going to be making mussels. Justin and I had this meal a few weeks ago when our kids ditched us for friends. And we were like, oh, this was so easy. We should do it for the show. So we're going to start with peach crisp.
And I know Sarah Poirier is making it with us.
Yes, she is. She's already
We'll try to go slow, Sarah.
Pictures. So what I have here is I've got like 5 large peaches that I've diced up. I peeled some of them. I left the skin on some of them. I like the skin. I'm going to add, I think in my recipe I said 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm going to add a little bit more because my peaches weren't quite as ripe as I wanted them to be. So I'm just, it's not going to hurt anything to add a little extra sugar. So I've got my sugar, and then I have some cornstarch and some cinnamon in here. I like putting cinnamon in because I think it brings out the sweet. And then we're just going to toss this together like this and place it in our ramekins. Not too difficult.
It's so good.
And it is so good. I like cooking with peaches. But you could do this with any fruit. Most of the time, I'll buy, like a mixed berry, like raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, and do a crisp with those. That's some of my favorites.
We'll do this sometimes when the kids go to bed. We'll just be like,
that molten chocolate cake.
Let's make some raspberries.
All right, so that's it on the peaches.
Do you want me to put it in there?
And yeah, so just, place them down. And I usually try to fill it up and kind of push it down in there so that you leave a little bit of room for your crisp that's going to go on top.
Okay.
He's
You trust me with this?
Absolutely, I trust you.
I'm the sous chef.
He's the sous chef. Sarah Poirier, I hope you have a sous chef going with you.
Valerie Tarbox is watching as well. She says
Hey, Val.
She says she's hungry.
Well, she should be making dinner. Is she making dinner?
Ask her.
Val, you making dinner? All right, so for your crisp, I've got some butter. It's room temperature, softened. And it's equal portions for a crisp topping. So I know that's at least what I do. I do a stick of butter, and then a 1/2 cup of dark brown sugar, a 1/2 cup of oats, and a 1/2 cup of flour. And I do put a little pinch of salt. And all you've got to do is mix it around and top your crisps with this mixture. So I just use a fork. You can use like one of those pastry things. I just don't own one. Those like biscuit makers.
What does that look like? A biscuit maker.
It's like a U shape and it has those, I don't know.
I have no idea what that means. So I have enough to make another one. Can
Or
I
we
get
can
another
just eat
ramekin?
Well, I don't know if I've got enough topping.
Okay.
So
I like this.
I'll make more topping once it goes over. How about?
There you go.
All right. So we do have our oven preheating at 375, and these take about 20 to 30 minutes. They might brown on top before it's actually done cooking. You really want to see that the fruit inside is bubbly. So sometimes you'll have to put a little piece of aluminum foil over the top of the pan just to keep it from browning too much, but allowing it some time to get really nice and bubbly and cooked down on the inside. Did Valerie answer?
She said that she already ate, but she's ready for dessert.
Oh, okay.
And Emily said that she's with Valerie. I think she already ate too.
Oh.
So actually, I always get starving when we do cooking with Katie because I don't eat anything until we're done with this. So it's gonna be like what 8 o'clock before I eat.
Yeah.
So
I just use my hands, guys, to just grab like a little bit of this, and I just kind of make sure. Oops. I put I like a good amount of crisp on top because that's kind of the best part. When the butter gets down in with the berries and just makes it yummy. But it's no big deal if you like extra crisp. It's no big deal. Just equal portions if you need to make more. You want to do this?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You're good at it.
Yeah, I'm really good at this. Like this, just crumble it.
Just crumble it over the top.
You can't really mess it up.
Nope, you can't. The only mess up is if you don't get enough.
I want a lot on mine. This is the good stuff.
Yeah, this is the good stuff.
I'm going to sprinkle the rest around. Is that cool?
Yes.
Okay.
You guys see how easy this is? Oh, wasteful. Okay.
Okay. We good?
I think we're good.
Okay.
All right, these are going to go in the oven after I wash my hands.
Like middle shelf, bottom shelf, top shelf?
I just put them on the middle, and then if they start to brown too much, I put the aluminum foil over the top.
Just like that.
Just like that. And it's time for the mussels.
Time for the mussels.
So there's a restaurant here on Route 1 in Wells called Bitter End. I love it. If you ever have a chance to go there. They used to have, pre-COVID, they would have ladies' nights where their entire menu was 50% off. So I would go with a friend of mine, and we would go to ladies' night, and we had these mussels there. And so this is my recreation of the mussels that I had there. These are Portuguese-style mussels. And we're just going to get started. So I'm just going to put some olive oil in the bottom of my Dutch oven. You can do this in a pan. I just have a lot of mussels because we have a couple friends coming over tonight to eat these with us. So, and to that, I'm going to add an onion. Can you grab the salt over there? And then I also have two sausages. This can be chorizo if you like something a little spicy. I couldn't find chorizo, so these are just Portuguese-style sausages. They're pretty mild, so I'll probably add in a little bit of red pepper flakes, just because I like that. And we're just going to brown this for a minute and let those sausages kind of render a little bit of fat down in the bottom of this pan.
Cool.
Yeah.
This is like what I think makes the dish, because I don't actually care for mussels that much.
You like them.
I did, but I loved what this whole mixture was added to, because if you just served mussels, I'd be like, this is, but the meat makes it, so.
That's because you're a boy.
So while this is cooking down, I was looking up some things, and I have some would you rather questions that
you guys can answer too.
Yeah, we're going to answer, but I'd love to hear you guys answer too if you're watching. So the first one, would you rather only be able to use a fork or only be able to use a spoon? Like fork, no spoon, or spoon, no fork.
Is this within cooking too?
This is within life.
Like life, the only utensil you have.
Yes, it's like all they've invented was a spoon or a fork. Which one?
What's the size on them?
Just choose one.
Okay. I think I would say spoon. Because you can scoop things out and it won't drip through the prongs of the fork.
Well, you could always use a fork for everything, though.
You can't use a fork for ice cream.
You actually can. I know people.
All right, soup.
Who is eating that much soup that you need to only have a spoon?
I
like a
soup.
Fork, you can stab things.
What if you have like a cake batter and you need to get it at all the stuff?
Forks
but
work.
not as well.
Fingers work. I would
Fingers
say
wasn't
fork.
an option.
I would say fork, which goes into this next question.
Okay.
Would you rather be a carnivore or a vegetarian? If you had a choice in this world, not like, oh yeah, I want to, save animals or whatever. Like, no, like you had one choice and you could either be a vegetarian or a carnivore. What would you choose?
A vegetarian or a carnivore?
Valerie said fork too. Good job, Valerie.
Like, okay, so I'm just going to clarify the question.
You can only eat meat, no vegetables.
So you can't even use like herbs and seasonings and that kind of stuff to even season your meat, because most of those come from a plant.
I think you just need to stay away from anything green and good for you.
I would be a vegetarian.
Why would you do that?
I mean, I love meat.
This is, like I said right here, this is what makes it, is the meat.
Mussels are also meat.
Is that considered meat? Is mussels considered meat? That's actually a really good question, because I think it's considered fish or some sort of a mollusk.
It is a mollusk. It's a bivalve.
Vegetarian. Sarah Poyer says she'd be a vegetarian.
Yeah, I knew she was
I
my
think
friend.
this is just where our culture is right now, but if I had some more guys watching this, I think that they would, Valerie says she'd be a vegetarian. If there was actually a man here, Emily, ask your husband what he would want to do.
Listen, you're not
Valerie
gonna get...
Tarbox, ask your husband what he would rather have. I guarantee they would not be saying vegetarian.
They are the hunters and we are the gatherers.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
This, but it sounded good. So
Friends, at this point,
all right.
If you have garlic that you want to add, you can. I don't, but I know a lot of people like garlic with this.
Is it on the recipe?
It's not on the recipe. Can you tell I wrote the recipe and I'm not necessarily type A? So
that's for sure.
So at this point, I'm going to let this cook just a little bit longer. But
how do you know when it's done?
Well, you're just like the onions are translucent. The onions are translucent. You might get some stuff on the bottom of the pan.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff on the bottom of the pan and translucent onions.
Yep.
The meat's already cooked. Is that right?
Yeah, the meat's already cooked, but you're just browning it up.
Jeffrey would be a carnivore. John is a meat person, 100%. Thank you very much. See, I think this must be a male-female thing. Right?
I don't know. I know that we have some friends that are vegetarians, and he's like Jay. Jay is a vegetarian, and he is a guy.
He's an outlier. He's an outlier.
All right. So here in a second,
Jay, if you're watching.
I'm going to add some tomatoes. I have fire roasted tomatoes. I like those.
So you may have bought, like Sarah Poyer, if she looked yesterday, she may have seen that this said what? What did you say?
Diced tomatoes.
Diced, but you actually got fire roasted.
I did. It doesn't matter.
Well, one's fire roasted and one's not.
It's kind of like garlic, and it's kind of like the red pepper that I'm going to put in. It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
No, it's still going to taste good. So make sure if you're cooking with us that you have really scrubbed these down. You don't have any that are open, because if they're open, they're dead, which means they're going to be a little rotten. And here, there's usually like a little beard sticking out. It's like a little bit of stuff that helps stick them to the rocks.
I never knew that these things had beards.
You need to pull that apart.
I mean, it's like it's like hair. It's legit hair.
Almost hair. So these are very clean. I've scrubbed them a couple times. I've redone the water, and then I've just got them sitting on ice because they really need to stay cold because they'll die. So make sure you've done that. Otherwise, you might have a bit of a sandy dinner. So look at this here. You see how the bottom of the pan now has a little bit of brown bits sticking to it?
Yeah, that's awesome.
You really want that because when you add your tomatoes and your wine, all of that goodness is going to flavor the rest of your dish. So I'm going to add my tomatoes. I put all the juices in. I'm going to put a little bit of red pepper flakes because I like just a little heat, and I didn't find the chorizo. I'm going to do some salt and some pepper.
This is so good.
And just give that a little stir. Alright. And I've got this on pretty high heat. Everybody's oven's a little different, but I've got it on pretty high heat. And then I'm going to add an entire bottle of wine. This is going to be what makes the broth really good. I feel like that might be enough because it's getting kind of thin. So, to that, I'm going to add my mussels.
You don't have to let it boil yet?
It will boil in like 0.5 seconds. So, I'm just going to add my mussels, and you're going to want to put the top on it, and these mussels will actually create a nice broth as well. So if you're not comfortable with cooking with wine, because some people are not comfortable with that, that's totally fine. You can use a chicken stock. I sometimes make lobster stock with leftover lobsters. You can make and use any kind of that, like stock or something, if you don't like that. But I will say, using the wine really does give it an extra bit of flavor. So I use something that's dry, something that's not sweet.
And the alcohol cooks off, right?
And it all cooks off, so you don't have to worry about serving this to your kids. So I'm putting this all in here. You're going to want it to boil, and these will automatically, automatically open up when they're done. So we're just going to...
Is that how you know when they're done? Is they open?
Yeah, they'll open up and everything will be bubbling, and then it's ready to go.
Can you overcook these things?
I think if you leave them boiling for a really long time with them opened up, they will get like kind of gummy and chewy, just like any other kind of seafood does. You know how like if you overcook lobster, it's really tough. If you have like your mussels are opening up and most of them are open, but you've got like 2 or 3 that are not opening up, those are bad, just toss them.
So if they're open before you cook them, they're not good.
If they're open before you cook them, they're not good.
Okay.
And if they don't open, if they refuse to open, they're not good.
Wow. Okay.
So, chop them.
So how long does it have to cook for?
It's got to cook, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes there.
Okay.
So,
sounds good.
do you have another question?
Yes.
Because we're going to start some bread here.
So I want to hear from you guys. I just wanted to say, Gary Wilmot says meat always. Every guy on here that has a wife that is watching this said meat. So I think that's pretty conclusive that meat is the right answer.
Because boys said that was the right answer?
The next question is, would you take free flights for the rest of your life or eat for free in restaurants for the rest of your life?
Okay. Oh, look, the doggy is. Hi, honey. Look, he wants a treat.
This is Colby, and he gets treats way more than he deserves.
I know, but he's so handsome. I know, he's so handsome. Well, you dropped it, honey. Okay.
Go eat it.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Free flights for the rest of your life, or eat for free in restaurants for the rest of your life. So you get free flights.
Any restaurant?
You can go anywhere, or eat for free in any restaurant for the rest of your life. I kind of have an idea what you would do, but I don't know. That's a tough one for you.
That's a really tough one for me because I really like going places. But, I mean...
Free food.
Free food, which means, because that's a huge portion of your budget when you travel, is...
Yep.
Like, you could go to Europe and eat at all the Michelin star restaurants for free.
Emily says free flights. Sarah Poirier says flights to get to the restaurants. So she would go flying
to get to the restaurants.
To France, to Italy, to all these places. Yeah.
I think I would do food. Because you can, like, we were going to go to Europe.
So, we just celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary.
We did.
And Katie turned a
special number.
A number that is not 29.
It's not 30
or even
either.
39. And so we were supposed to go to Paris.
And?
Italy.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened. And so
that didn't happen.
We stayed here.
So here's my answer to that question, though, is our tickets to Europe were like $325.
Cheap.
But like, you go to one of those nice restaurants, you're talking about like $200 or $300 per person.
Even in France?
Yes. And you could be like there for a whole week eating that kind of food.
So
and on.
Emily just said, Katie, you can cook. So take the flights because you can cook. She also said happy anniversary. Thank you very much, Emily. She says happy birthday too.
Oh yay!
Yay!
Thank you.
All right, one more. You want to do one more?
One more, and then we'll make some bread and check on the stuff.
This is kind of weird, but would you rather have all dogs try to attack you when they see you, or all birds try to attack you when they see you? Would you rather have all dogs try to attack you when they see you, or all birds try to attack you when they see you?
I am wondering if my two best friends are watching this because one is scared of dogs and the other is scared of birds. So, I'm sure that's a horrifying question for them.
I know what I would do.
What would you do?
Birds. I'd want all birds to attack me. I would want.
There's a lot more birds than dogs.
I understand that, but I would just carry like a net or a bat or something with me.
A net or a bat?
Just to hit them. What would you do? Dogs or birds? You'd want vicious dogs after you? They can maul you. Birds just peck your eyes out.
That would be mauling. I don't know. I have a little bit of a fear and trepidation of big dogs.
Emily and Sarah both say dogs.
Well, when I'm running, sometimes there's been dogs that will come to the end of their driveway and they're kind of intimidating. They're just trying to protect their domain, but I'll sit there and yell at them. I'll be like, "Stay, bad dog!" and I'll yell at them.
I actually, in my mind,
me.
Get ready to kick them in the face.
I actually have almost.
I envision it.
I almost did that to two spaniels one time. They were chasing me down the road.
You are so bad. Okay.
I'm not bad. There's a lot more.
If you just hang around chihuahuas, then maybe not so much.
Oh my word.
And dogs can be distracted by treats, is what Valerie said. So you just carry around a few steaks with you, which is why you should be a carnivore rather than a vegetarian. This all kind of works together. So you should be a meat eater that can distract dogs by meat.
I love how you've connected it all.
That is not you.
That's very complicated.
Okay, you want to make some of this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. This is bread. We did not make this bread.
No. Yeah, and there have been people that have asked, hey, do you make bread? I do. But it's really difficult in a 30-minute window, 40-minute window to really show you how to make bread because there's so much wait time in between the steps in the process. I actually learned how to make bagels this year, and let me tell you, they're amazing. So this is just some artisan bread, and I'm just going to toast it up. So I've got some good olive oil here and some garlic powder. I'm just going to pop this in the oven with the peaches. And
This was supposed to be my job.
I'm sorry, I took over. It's kind of a jam.
Taking over?
Yeah, taking over.
Kind of a jam.
So this is just really good to have because you just made all of that broth with these mussels. So
can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, I like things really salty. You don't have to make it super salty, but I like my bread really salty.
Why do we have extra?
Why do I have this?
Yeah, what's that go to?
Oh, so when the mussels are done, you top it with parsley.
Okay, I didn't know
lemon.
if we missed it. A step. If I missed a step. No, of course you wouldn't. It would be me. They would have missed that.
We didn't miss a step.
We
did not. So, the peaches are looking yummy.
Yes, they are.
This is going in. And these are opening up.
Ooh, that's
You see. So, I'm going to turn this off and take it off the eye. And as soon as this bread is done, we're going to be able to serve this up. So, why don't we make a bowl just to show you guys?
okay.
Let's see. I can't wait.
This is so good.
So I do have the parsley and the lemon So, just gonna dig in here and scoop from the bottom so that you get all of that sausage and broth. And we always put like an extra bowl on the table so that we can have like a little bone pile for when we eat these. So I like to top it with just a little bit of fresh parsley that I cut up, and I squeeze a little bit of lemon. And this is ready to be eaten. Doesn't it look so good? Sarah Poyer, I want to know what yours look like.
Yes.
She always sends us pictures. And why don't I go ahead and I'm gonna take these and speed up the process on the bread. I'll put it in a broiler and then put the peaches back in. Do you have one more question for us that we're about to eat?
Okay. Would you rather be lost in a bad part of town or lost in the forest?
Lost in the bad part of town? Am I in my car?
No. No car.
I'm not in my car.
You're lost in the bad part of town or lost in the forest? I know it right away.
Would be lost in the forest.
You would want to be lost in the forest?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. That's like my worst nightmare.
That's because you chose birds.
No, when I go when I go hunting, my worst nightmare is that I'm gonna go walk in the woods and never be found again.
Oh, like lost on a mountain.
I have like a little like GPS tracker that tracks where I go.
Do you remember the time you literally Googled, "Can coyotes kill me?"
Look, I know there's, a lot of these ladies are watching right now. So for some of you guys that hunt, it was my first few times hunting. It was before the sun came up, and I get out of my car, my truck, and I'm like, I got my gun, I'm ready to go. I'm going deer hunting, and I'm hearing these coyotes, and they're like, they're doing all this stuff, and I'm like, holy, and they sound like they're really, really close to me. So I'm like, well, that's okay. And then I start walking in the woods, and I'm like, this is stupid. Like, what am I doing? So I go back into my truck, get on my phone, and I just ask, like, can coyotes kill me? It's actually my Google search. I showed Katie afterwards. I was like, this is literally what I asked Google. And they're like, the answer was disconcerting. The answer was...
I think you hightailed it out there.
It was kind of like, not usually. And I was like, that's not a good answer. So legit, I just put my seat back and fell asleep for about 45 minutes and then went out after daybreak, which is probably a horrible time to go.
Because none of the deer are going to be...
But I don't know how to hunt anyway, so... Anyway, yes. Anyway, okay, sorry. What are we doing? Are we done?
No, I've got bread. I've got it going under the broiler.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are done or semi-done?
These are semi-done. I think I'm going to throw them back in the oven, and they might have to finish cooking.
How do you know when these are done then?
So you'll see that like all the juices in here will be bubbly. So I don't think that the peaches are quite cooked. So here's my thing. A lot of people eat ice cream with this. I feel like it's already sweet enough. So sometimes you can just take heavy cream and just pour it over the top. I learned that when I was making sticky toffee pudding. The sticky toffee pudding I make.
That's good.
And sticky toffee pudding, you make it in a ramekin, and I love everything that's made in a ramekin. And you dump it out, and you have like a butterscotch kind of caramel sauce that goes over the top. And traditionally, you take heavy cream and you drizzle that over the top as well, and it gives that little bit cut to the sweet, but it's not also sweet in itself. So that's what I would be putting on my peach crisp.
That sounds good.
I know, right?
Okay. Sarah Poyer said it smells amazing. She's actually making it. I think Sarah might be the only person that's actually making it with us.
Yay, Sarah!
Yay, Sarah's right.
Okay. So, here we go.
You want to take one out?
No, I'm going to put those back. Oh, yeah, you can. Here. So, here we go. We're going to plate everything up for you, even though, put it on another plate. Yeah.
I should know this, right?
Yeah.
Small plate?
Oh my
What was I
God.
thinking?
What are you doing?
The plate has to go on a plate.
Yeah, it does. we're gonna show this to you and finish it off with some ice cream, and I'm gonna put this back in the oven for just a few more minutes. But wanted to show you mussels with peach crisp. We're gonna have a little bit of like veggies and dip to go with this, just to give it a little bit of something else. But it's gonna be so good. I hope you're making it, and if you're not making it, I hope you make it tomorrow night because it really is delicious.
You can at least make some peach crisp tonight.
Well, oh, and I will say, mussels are a super cheap seafood.
Yeah,
They were $3.50.
For all of those?
Well, I bought 2 bags.
So $7 for all those mussels. You think that they're expensive, but they're not.
They're not.
They're not. Okay.
Well, no seafood is expensive right now, really.
We good?
Yes, we're good.
All right. Thanks so much, guys.
Guys, next time, let me know if you like the quick dinner that you can do with me, or the one where we make like the convoluted process.
Anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, I hope you enjoy. I hope you like the mussels. I think they're delicious. They taste a lot like bitter end. So, yeah, good luck.
Sounds good. See you
See
later.
you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.